Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the 6-One Indie Showcase, another developer interview. Mike here, along with Kyle and Becca on the 6-One Indie side of things.
Hi.
And today, well, hi, how are you?
Good.
Great. Becca, how are you?
Good, thank you.
Wonderful. Today, we're with the team behind EbiTapes. Guys, hello, welcome.
Hi.
Nice
Hello.
to meet you.
Nice to meet you guys. We said it right behind the scenes, but thank you guys so much for being a part of the show. I've had my eyes on EbiTapes for, it must have been the next fest you guys participated in, if that was a while ago. I saw it somewhere. I was like, oh my God, this is completely my kind of game. So when you guys submitted, I was really excited.
It's really nice to hear.
So, please, I would love to, introduce yourselves. Tell us a little bit about yourselves and the studio. Take it away.
I guess I start. Hi, I'm Marton, and I started EbiTapes back in 2022. I'm mainly a programmer and a game designer. And I started prototyping EbiTapes, but Lila joined shortly after the initial prototypes.
Yeah, and that's me. So then I'm introducing myself too. So yeah, I'm Lila, and I'm the artist behind EbiTapes. I'm also responsible for level design because I have a background in architecture as well. So we like to work together in most of the processes. So yeah, I'm artist, but also we discuss the game design as well.
Awesome. So EbiTapes, for folks who aren't familiar or maybe missed the showcase, you should go watch it, by the way. Fun adventure game, but the hook is that it has like this music creation tool. So I would love to learn about the thought process behind a music creation tool and how it plays into an adventure game. Like, what came first? Was it the music creation side of things, or did you set on to make a adventure game first and then the music side came a bit later?
Well, the music was the part of it from the beginning. The project name is actually Tromboner Wanderer, because I wanted to make a game where you are basically a street musician exploring these fun, quirky little cities, and you go out wandering and playing music. But soon after, we ditched the trombone part, and we just wanted to make a creative tool that everyone can make cool music with and have fun with.
Yeah, we probably playing a trombone is hard in real life as well. So probably it's a better idea to make it a little bit more accessible for everyone. So yeah, we after a while we created more like a building game with music within the adventure part.
Yeah, it's actually a great tie into something I want to ask at some point during this was just the accessible nature of the tool itself. Like, if for folks who haven't seen it, it is simply just drag and drop. Was accessibility always at the core of what you guys want? It sounded like it was like that's like kind of the core idea, I guess, concept.
Yes, we had to do a lot of trial and error and a lot of playtesting to get it right, because at the first prototypes, even I struggled to make something that sounds nice, and that was a big problem in this kind of game. So we just had a lot of brainstorming and a lot of testing to get here.
Nice. Yeah, we wanted to create something that actually sounds nice from the beginning, or almost the beginning, and we both have experience in music a little bit, and we just realized that when you are actually playing music, sometimes it's not the case. So at least you can do it in a game, which is nice.
Yeah, for sure. I think I mentioned before we started recording, I also have a background in music. In my previous life, I was in audio engineering and I was in the studio from morning to night. So I very much understand the pain of like trying to make something sound good, and it's not always possible, especially with like a sample machine, a drum machine, a looping, some sort of like interface. What I'm sure, like I would love to, just for folks like listening who aren't familiar with like the music industry side of things or the engineering side of things, like what goes into making everything sound good. Like I'm sure, like yeah, like a lot of playtesting, like you said, but like I can't imagine that process. Like I guess a follow up would be like, is it possible to make something sound bad in EbiTapes?
Definitely, for sure.
Okay.
I mean, there are a lot of these fun little sound effects, like, for example, a duck sound that's just, or the cat sound that's just a meow. And if you put, I don't know, 16 cat sounds one after the other, it's not going to be a nice tune. I mean, it's still funny, but it's not music.
Yeah.
So yeah, you have some freedom to make like this troll stuff, I guess.
Nice.
Yeah,
Is
well,
oh, go ahead.
sorry.
No, it's okay.
It's just after a while we had a third team member, and he's actually responsible for the sounds now and the background music. We tried to keep the original ideas, but with a little more afterthought about the music. So we still have the original concept of, so you can still have the noises of the world and some samples and nice tunes as well. But I think after Seppi, who is the music designer guy, joined us, the whole sound, the design of the sound, the atmosphere of the sound really like came together better, I think. So yeah.
Nice. Is everything in the world of EbiTapes like recordable? Like, can you get samples from pretty much everything in the world? Because it's pretty daunting task, I can imagine.
The answer is no.
Okay, good.
we,
All right.
we try to include as much stuff as possible, but there has to be stuff that just that's not recordable. For example,
Yeah.
speech is not recordable and stuff like that.
Yeah, and we also realized after a while that I don't know if you have ever collected anything and you got a big amount of that thing, like, yeah, and it's just not, I don't know, not precious anymore. So collecting something has to be like, a real collection that you appreciate. So after a while we decided that it's better that if you just don't get like 1000 sounds in after 2 minutes in the game, so you can actually appreciate what you have and remember them too.
I love that. It's
Yeah,
great.
that kind of like goes hand in hand with kind of a, I don't know if this was purposeful or not, but kind of a theme of particular sounds. Like there is beauty in sound, as cheesy as that may be. But yeah, it just yeah, I think if you're able to record everything and anything, it kind of takes that away. And especially like back when I was studying music back in college and stuff, we were taught to really take everyday sounds and like try to find the music in it. Again, not to sound cheesy, but yeah, it very much feels like that EbiTapes captures that kind of same notion pretty well.
Yeah, that's definitely one thing that we try to focus on. Like, for example, if I take the subway now, even I listen to the bell that rings when the door closes, or the announcer sounds and stuff like that, or the ticket machine that
Yeah, I
handles
share
my
that
ticket.
curse as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, would love to hear about so you guys are based in Hungary. What's the game dev scene like out there?
It's pretty small in Hungary compared to the neighboring countries, as far as I'm aware. But there's a small community in Budapest, and yeah, there are some awesome people here.
Yeah.
Even though it's a smaller community, I guess most people know each other, or yeah, so it's closer.
Yeah, I know you guys released excuse me with the pronunciation, molecule. Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah, something like that. It's
Something like that?
molecule.
Molecule.
Yeah.
Back in 2022, was that your first project? And like how much have you learned from that project leading into EbiTapes? Because EbiTapes seems like such a much more ambitious project compared to the previous one. I'm curious about like kind of that progression.
Yeah, Molecule was my project. I made it with my brother, so Lilla and Seppi were not involved. I did the art as well, and one big learning from that project that maybe I shouldn't do that. Maybe I should collaborate with some other awesome people. And yeah, I also learned that I'm more interested in games without violence, and yeah, it seemed like a more fitting challenge. I don't know. I was just more interested in how to make a game that's not non-violent but still fun, and where you can use your creativity while playing. That was my main takeaway.
Yeah, it's an easy solution in game design. Well, granted, I know I'm not a game creator, but I'd imagine it's a pretty easy solution to just say like, oh yeah, give it a weapon. Oh yeah, do this and fight and combat and so on and so forth. So yeah, again, using that music creation tool as the to keep players involved and keep players engaged is really creative. And I always, again, with my background, always really do appreciate when the music creation side of things with video games do have that kind of seamless crossover, because it does really seem like it is quite seamless. Like it really feels like it is
Thanks.
hand in hand and can really serve both audiences, because there is some crossover, especially like with us and so on and so forth. But not every music fan plays video games, but I feel like this is a great kind of gateway into not only the indie scene in general, but video games as a whole.
Yes, we try to test with people who don't play that many games.
Awesome.
So yeah, that's important to us that they also enjoy this game.
Nice.
Speaking on like game mechanics, how difficult is it to come up with puzzles based on sound? Whereas like I feel like a lot of puzzles are visually like have visual cues to help solve them. How do making like sound based puzzles how daunting of a task that is, because I'm not smart enough to come up with puzzles. So I always like to ask to get better at my understanding of them.
It's hard, but we
I
try.
imagine so.
We collaborate on each level. Like all three of us from the team get together and just brainstorm a lot. We throw ideas and discuss them. So yeah,
Yeah, and sometimes even a visual clue can help to, think about a sound. So yeah, this is why we work together, I think, so well, because most of the time, basically the story, what inspires us, and the puzzles as well. So there's a game, there's a world, what we like to inhabit, and sometimes the world itself kind of, offers you solutions, so some sound solutions. So when we are together, we kind of living in EbiTapes worlds. So this is, I think, an easier task than just come up with a perfect sound puzzle. So yeah, this is how we work.
Yeah, speaking of the world and the story part of the showcase, you showed off a brand new story trailer, which is super exciting. Also, thank you guys for giving us that. That's very much appreciated. Can you tell folks listening like a little bit of what they've seen in the trailer and like a little bit about the world itself?
Should I?
yes.
Yeah, so basically we tried to introduce a little bit the story behind the game. So there's a big festival that is normally going on in EbiTapes World every year, and this year it got cancelled, and some of the people are really sad about it, and of course there's some who was always annoyed. This is how society works. Everything that happens, there are pro and contra, and people are pro and contra as well. So yeah, this is that probably makes you go on an adventure to help to save the festival itself. So basically, you are a little bit like a pro festival person, no, Marcy?
Yes, correct. We wanted to show off more about the world because we just really love the characters that are in the game. So we wanted to show a bit more of that in this trailer.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, and just speaking of the characters, also, it just something that kind of just immediately drew our attention to the game back when we initially saw it years ago, whenever it may be, is that art style and is that aesthetic. Like, what I'm curious what drove the decision to go with a more hand-drawn, crayon-like art style. Was that kind of going hand in hand with the accessibility of the music tools, or is that just you guys like hand-drawn? I'm also a fan of like scratchy hand-drawn, like imperfect stuff.
Well, I think the decision was basically that Marty chose me. So,
Fair.
yeah, so it was a decision to let me
Nice.
to do my stuff. Basically, I'm a book illustrator originally, and I'm working with analog materials like wax crayons. Are my favorite, and crayons. And although Abby's world is made with digital products, because I wouldn't scan and cut out, and yeah, I wouldn't do it with crayons at the moment. But we wanted to keep my drawings as they are. So I wanted to keep this crayony analog feel of drawings in the world. And I think it got a little freaky after a while. I mean, the world is cute, I think, but also kind of weird. And I think with the noise music, that was the original concept from the beginning. It was just a nice, I don't know, a nice matching, I
Like
don't
a
know,
match made in
world.
heaven.
Yes, yes. Yeah, so we felt that it works. It works really well. Yeah, so we kept on doing it.
Yeah, even well, first off, it's beautiful. Like I said, I'm a huge fan of the art. I
Thanks.
think it's great. But yeah, like I think analog is the perfect word for it because it gives off, like, granted it's done digitally, but it does give off that analog appearance, similar to recording the music. You are recording analog music. You are using a tape, which I'm assuming in the world possibly like actual analog tape to record these sounds. So yeah, it's again that kind of perfect match made in heaven, and it just feels so cohesive. So I definitely do celebrate like going for a more not normal art style and just go weird and stick to your guns and stick with your style because it does pay off.
Yeah, we hope so, actually. Yeah, I think we also have this kind of nostalgic feeling for analog things. And it definitely helps, to create the world when you really like to see it. So,
Awesome. Well, guys, I know it's late over there, so I don't want to keep you too much longer. I know you guys are dropping a brand new demo today on March 20th, so go play it, please, everyone listening. Where could people follow along with your work, follow along with EbiTapes, all that good stuff?
Well, our main platforms are Twitter and TikTok, both at EbiTapes. And we also have a community Discord that launched recently. So if you'd like to discuss EbiTapes or share your little tapes with the community, then please join us.
If you are watching this interview, you are obligated to join right now. I am tracking all of your clicks. And you can find all those links and all the information on sixoneindie.com/showcase. You click EbiTapes key art and it'll bring you to all the links that you need to find. Well, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us today. I appreciate it greatly.
yeah, and
Wait.
thanks for having us, really.
Yeah, of course. It was our pleasure. I can't wait to jump into the new demo myself. I'm excited to see what sounds I could discover and put together. Awesome, guys. Thank you so much. And yeah, thank you so much for listening. There are a lot more 6-One Indie Showcase interviews up on 6oneindie.com/showcase. So go listen and we'll see you for the next one. Goodbye.
Have fun.
Bye.